Hello there. What is going on, everyone? It is time to talk about the Dark Troopers from Mando. It is so very, very cool. Mandalorian Season 2 Dark Troopers. They are coming to Star Wars Legion. And they are so very, very different, very interesting, and potentially very, very powerful. I'm very excited to be talking about these guys. They seem really, really cool. And I'm just thrilled that we finally got a full preview from Atomic Mass Games of this expansion. And it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 miniatures. 7 miniatures. You're going to have a lot to be able to make some really groovy stuff with this particular expansion. And again, the base unit size is only 3. So you've got a lot of really cool stuff to talk about in this video. We got all the heavy weapon options, the personnel cards, the new programming card. We got so much to talk about, as well as some really interesting questions to be raised from the previews. Some very what is no, that can't be right. There's definitely some moments. So I want to talk about those in today's video. Before I do that, a little bit of admin stuff. We had a bunch of great giveaways in December. We are doing another giveaway right now, and that's for a $25 Amazon gift card to put towards an expansion of your choice. All you have to do is be a subscriber, a public subscriber. It helps if you've hidden your subscriptions, makes it harder for me to find you and include you in the winner process. Also, people who've left comments. That's how you win. That's how you enter to win. You have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. Also want to thank today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Amazing full metal tokens for Legion. They are absolutely out of this world. You're going to love them. Code Crabbok VIP is going to save you 15%. These new tokens, the ionized, the observed, the poisoned, and they're amazing. And I just got my hands on these, and you're going to be seeing a special preview of these very, very soon. They are absolutely gorgeous, folks. You're going to love them. Wait till you see these tokens in video form. That's going to be a whole nother video because photos are awesome, but they don't quite do it justice. The video is really going to impress you. So definitely check them out. Head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. Don't forget to use code Crabbok VIP. All right, so let's talk about these Dark Troopers. First off, we've seen the unit card already, but I want to talk about the unit card a little bit. It's a heavy. They are a heavy. There's 3 units. They are a droid trooper, which is huge. Like, for a heavy to be a trooper at all is just nuts. There's so many different things about this. 95 points doesn't seem that expensive for a heavy until you realize, well, it's just 3 minis rolling 1 black die each. 95 points for 3 black dice does not seem very good. You've got a red defense die, but no surge, no offensive surge, no defensive surge. No courage value, though, so they are fearless. 2 health each, so you get 6 health, 3 black dice. They're a little bit better in melee, but good luck getting to melee when you're speed 1 and you have plotting, which means during your activation, you can only do 1 standard move. And that's it. You can't do another standard move this activation. They've got armor, which makes them very survivable. I mean, I could maybe see some people running these for objectives or something like that, especially if we get new objectives. It'd be hard to kill these guys. You're not going to be able to make them panic and drop an objective. So kind of like in Mando Season 2, when they are sent to retrieve some various special cargo, they're not going to drop it. They're going to be successful in getting the items, right? And so I kind of feel like this is almost a precursor to like new objective cards, new battle cards coming for Legion. I have a feeling we might see some new battle cards because these guys are going to be tough to kill. But if you didn't want to take any special upgrades and just wanted to run them as is, they could be kind of crazy like that. They have Unconcerned. They can't benefit from cover, and miniatures in this unit cannot be repaired or restored. So that kind of goes away from the whole, like, hey, they're going to last forever. No, they're hard to kill, but once you kill one, it stays down, which is super interesting. Like, I think it's just a really good keyword. Like, very interesting design space on this one. And, of course, they have Unstoppable. This unit is eligible to activate during the activation phase while it has 1 or fewer face-down order tokens. This unit may never have more than 1 face-up order token. When creating your order pool, add an additional order token corresponding to this unit's rank to your order pool. So basically, you're going to get 2 heavies on this guy, and you're going to put that in your order pool. I would also wager that if this guy should be nominated as a new commander, perhaps, like if you're running these guys and Moff Gideon, and let's just say Moff Gideon were to die and it was your only commander, you might then be able to nominate an Imperial Dark Trooper as your commander. Seems, I don't see any reason why not. And then you would be putting 2 commander ranks in your order pool if that were the case. That would be a kind of a weird thing to happen, but in theory, it potentially could, which is just interesting. Not likely, but very interesting. But I also want to talk about upgrades because they have 2 heavy upgrade options and a personnel. We have a heavy with a personnel upgrade and, of course, a programming upgrade, but they are not programmed. So you do not have to put a programming upgrade on them. So just overall, they're very interesting. Just breaking all kinds of norms and using, this is something Luke Eddy used to talk about, is instead of just trying to, like, I think when they were coming out with Anakin Skywalker, and I actually had an interview with him on this channel talking about it a long time ago. We talked. There was some context about upgrades and like all of the different lightsaber masteries, and he had said something like along the lines of, I'm trying to paraphrase, that they don't want to necessarily just always add new keywords for every single new unit, because we've got a lot of keywords in the game right now, and wouldn't it be interesting to just start using existing keywords, but in different combinations and using existing things? I mean, I'm taking that to the next step. Instead of just existing keywords, maybe maybe the ideas for a lot of this was to use existing upgrades, existing combinations of things that already exist in the game, and you do them in new ways. And that could be very well one of the things that inspired this unit. It's just so different, so out there. We've got a red and a white for their melee, range 1 to 3 blaster, which isn't bad, but still it's only 3 minis, so that's certainly worth noting. We did get a look at all of the heavies today, so let's start looking at these and what's going to make that 95 point cost that seems cheap not be so cheap. First off, this monster right here, monster. Okay, the XS IV assault cannon, or the XS4, the extra small 4 assault cannon. I don't know if it's extra small or it's extra super or Excelsior Suprando. You let me know what you think XS stands for there. It's but the 4, it was good because it rolls 4 black dice, right? It's this heavy adds critical 1, which is going to be very important for a unit with nothing to show for it in the surge conversion department. It is a 1 to 3 gun on this miniature and 4 black dice per. Now, keep in mind that the Imperial Dark Trooper unit does have 2 health per mini as its default, so this will be also a 2 health heavy, which is pretty cool. I think the inclusions of these types of heavies are going to be are going to kind of give extra value to upgrades like Force Choke. Since you can't scope out a heavy anymore, I think Force Choke would be both very useful against a miniature like this. Even though it would only do 1 point of damage on it, would mean that the next point of damage would have to go to a miniature that already had damage on it. And so that would mean that this guy would not be long for this world at that point, which is very cool. Unless, of course, that rule ends up changing too. We are due for our next rules update very, very soon. I think we have about 5 more days or so until those come out. So again, I'll be covering those when they come out. But as it stands right now, this guy is a very beefy, respectable, nasty dude. Now, if you just run this dude, you're already adding, this is like half the cost of the whole unit right here, right? So it's obviously going to increase quite a bit. Now, you're going to go from 3 to 4 miniatures by adding this guy. You're going to have your 3 black dice for the normal unit, and then 4 more for here. So now all of a sudden you went from 3 to 7 by just adding 1 miniature, and you added critical 1 to your dice pool, which is also very nice. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Plus, this guy can stay alive till almost last, so you'll always roll probably at least 5, black while this guy's in your dice pool. So kind of like him. Next up, for a little bit cheaper, we have the SM9 Frag Launcher. This one, a little bit less crazy, a little bit better against vehicles, right? Range 1 to 2. It's inexhaustible, but it's got cycle. And that's important because cycle's decent. Cycle is the thing that makes this into like a, oh, that's terrible versus, oh, I can work with that, and that's what this guy's doing. So I like that. Of course, cycle means that if you don't fire it on a round, you can then unexhaust it for free, as opposed to having to use a recover action to ready it. So you have blast on this, which is great. I love blast, especially if you have it a split fire or somehow have like a smaller dice pool. It's got impact 2, which is going to be really nice. It's going to be, again, I guess situational. It'll be good against other dark troopers. It'll be good against vehicles. We might see more vehicles. It's as best possible. I think you'll be seeing more impact in this game because I think dark troopers are going to be in a lot of lists for a while, and I think it's going to increase the need for impact. And hey, what do you know? They have impact here. Well, that's kind of cool. And it's only 40 points, so it's a little bit cheaper. We're not done yet. We've got the Myrtleizer. This one's a lot cheaper at only 36 points. Now, no extra ranged weapon on this one, which is interesting, but you do get a nice melee weapon that also has suppressive. This one's all right. It's only melee. It's 2 red and a black as opposed to a red and a white. While this one's not as crazy impressive to me, because you're really only gaining 1 extra die and a mini for 36 points. We are getting the suppressive keyword, which can sometimes be useful in melee. I just have my doubts as to how effective the melee attack is going to be on the Dark Troopers, considering they are only speed 1 and have plotting, which, again, they can activate twice, so you can move, and 2 speed 1 moves isn't bad, but it's... it's not great. It's not relentless. It's not charge. It's not a Jedi with burst of speed, for example. But it's if somebody tries to go up to them, it could be extra dice. Although it is dice without a surge. So and my red dice have been notorious for rolling lots of surges and blanks, more so than I feel is appropriate. And so I'm going to have a stern talking to with the dice. But we also had a personnel slot, and we are given for only 32 points. We're giving a Imperial Dark Trooper that adds an extra Imperial Dark Trooper. This can bring you up from 3 to 4, and so you can potentially have 4. You can potentially have 6. So you can use 6 of your 7 miniatures all in one unit, which is awfully cool. But I have issue with this. I'm curious why this is here. And I have a theory. I have a theory on how this might get used. I don't see anybody ever actually running this card. Unless there is a rules change that we are unaware of. Because it's a personnel for 32 points. Now, just so we're clear here, it's a personnel upgrade for 32 points. Now, it is restricted to Imperial Dark Trooper only. But you know what's not restricted to Imperial Dark Trooper only? Lots of other upgrades, lots of other personnel upgrades that, like, an Imperial officer is objectively miles better. Yes, I understand the courage value increase would be nothing. I actually could even, I don't even know if a null courage value, if increased by 1, would suddenly make the whole unit courage 1 and then eligible to run away. Maybe, because we've never really seen that happen before. So that's a possibility, but it's a huge decrease in points from 32 down to 20 for the Imperial officer. What about the Imperial comms technician? That has no drawbacks at all, other than the fact that you have to, also get a comm upgrade. But he's only 10 points. 10 points. Or 32 points. How about you save 22 points and put some of those towards a comm upgrade and use the Imperial comms technician? And there's great comm upgrades that you could put on there. HQ uplink, or long range comm link, or signal jammer, or like all kinds of stuff that you can or free aim. There's so many crazy things that you can put on this particular guy. It's bizarre to me. Choose this guy 10 times out of 10 over this guy because he doesn't give you anything. He doesn't even have cash aim or anything like that. And even if he had cash aim, I still absolutely wouldn't take it. But he should have a cash standby or something like that. That would be really cool, right? Or something like that. Then he might be worth using. Or I don't know. I just feel like something's missing. Or he should have It seems to me that this guy was intended to be the only personnel option that you can take with the Dark Troopers. I feel like that was the intent, but I won't be surprised if there's some kind of crazy typo or a missing rule that we just are unaware of. So my guess is that, because otherwise there's no reason to make this guy, because nobody would ever use him. There's got to be something that we're missing, because this is such a better option. And since these are miniatures that just say Imperial only, hey, Imperial Dark Troopers, Imperial, maybe the Battle Force, maybe the Imperial Remnant Battle Force might have restricted cards, but still, I mean, then I just won't run that Battle Force. It's not like that Battle Force is going to be that good, right? Or maybe it is going to be that good. I doubt it. It would have to be extremely good to, to lock out these guys and still be worth using. And if so, maybe I just don't care about that one extra black die that mini's going to get me. It's probably not worth that much. And also these guys don't have the HP changer too, so they're also going to gain 2 HP. It's insane. But also there's Separatist personnel upgrades that can go into this guy, because the Separatist cards never said droid only. I'm sorry, they never said Separatists only. They just said Droid Trooper only. And lo and behold, Droid Trooper. Droid Trooper with personnel. Means every one of them crazy droid things can go in there. Now, most of them aren't now that good. Some of them are non-combatants that can heal. There's other options besides these 3 that can go in here. You might want to put a medic in here. I wouldn't want to put a 2 hit point medic in here, really, but it's an option. How about the Viper droid, right? Viper droid he's got observe too. Now I don't know if I'd want to waste one of my actions on the Dark Trooper as observe too, but maybe it's possible. But he's got a decent little weapon, right? He's got 2 dice. That could be a nice option. He's only got the 1 hit point though, but he's 8 points. He's, if you're just looking for like that extra, that cheapo thing, you can make it happen. It's pretty cool. Or if you are going to shoot, maybe you can observe too and then shoot. Maybe if you've already got an aim for something else. I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like it. Maybe if you're potentially doing the Gideon route, with you're gonna have a face-up order on this unit. You want them to do fire support. Sometimes extra dice is really good in fire support, because maybe you're rolling into an attack pool that already has aims. Maybe you're rolling into an attack pool that already has like surge to crit or something like that. I feel like a lot of this Dark Trooper stuff does kind of want to have, it's probably not too. Probably doesn't mind being rolled into another dice pool that has surge to hit or surge to crit into it. I think that's, I don't know. But out of all of these, maybe the comms technician is just the best overall. He's getting 2 HP for 10 points, and the only downside is that you got to take a comm upgrade, which there's some really good options on these guys. So I just don't know. I don't see the downside to that. Something has to be wrong, because there's no reason you'd ever run this guy. Just no reason. I'd take anything else over this guy. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's a very, very interesting thing. I just thought it was interesting pointing some of these out. Again, maybe you do want to take a medic in here and just have an extra HP. Like, hey, you can't kill my medic. Or, I don't know. I think that's a little overkill with points for the medic. A lot of the other options don't seem as crazy. And if the rule for taking an Imperial officer in this would be that it does actually change the courage from 0 to 1, then that could easily, in theory at least, be sort of a problem, right? I could see that being a little bit of a problem for the Dark Troopers. But the comms technician, forget about it. So very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. So I want to hear your thoughts too. Do you think this is just like, it is what you see, it is what you get, and every Dark Trooper is going to be running comms technicians, and that's going to just destroy the meta, run away with it? I don't know. We have this. We have programs loyalty. So this is interesting. It's an Imperial Dark Trooper only. It is a program. It says this unit can only be issued orders by a commander unit. Now that's interesting. That means you can't do HQ uplink if you want to get programmed loyalty. Okay, I get it. Now granted, if you're pulling from the pile, that's that's not being considered being issued an order. So we're just talking about face up, which means if you're running with Gideon and this is the only one, then this is an automatic because Gideon's going to give him one for free anyhow. So that's cool. You want to stay close to Gideon. Also gives you retinue commander. If you're at range 1 to 2 of a commander, you're getting a free aim or dodge token. In this case, probably aim. And armor doesn't need dodge as much. You don't need to cancel hit results. Those hit results are going away anyway. You know, you don't have outmaneuver, so you don't want the dodge tokens on these guys. They're not going to do much for you. They might help against a single impact die that's coming in or something like that. But outside of that, you want the aims. You absolutely want the aims. And so retinue is going to give them a free aim. That's great. A free aim every turn for 5 points. The only drawback is you can't get orders elsewhere. So this is great if you're running with commanders. They're the only ones that could give you orders anyway. If you're not trying to do HQ uplink, and that's why I think maybe what you see is what you get. Maybe the comms technician is exactly as it seems. Maybe he'll get changed to just have the little green 1, so he'll only have 1 hit point. Still, absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. 100%, if that's the case. Because don't forget, I don't have to give him a wound first. I can keep him in there till almost the end, right? So it just, I don't know, man. These guys, that's the way. That's the way for sure. Instead of this is the way, that's the way. They're crazy. They're crazy cool. We'll have to do some list building because they're expensive, right? If you put all these upgrades, I mean, the Imperial Dark Trooper, and if you run, the XS4 assault cannon and the SM9, right? So you run those guys, and let's just say I'm wrong about the comms technician, and you actually can only run, let's just say there's a reason to run the Imperial Dark Trooper. That's 220 points if you do this and the programming. You can't even fit 3 of those into a list with Gideon and have it be legal, because 3 Dark Troopers maxed out and 3 naked Stormtroopers is already 792 points. So I'm really curious. I don't really see triple Dark Trooper lists being a thing because they're outrageously expensive for them to be any good. I really, really think that the cost of these guys and the option to take 3 Dark Troopers means that we're getting new battle cards, and then people are going to be largely incentivized to somehow run these very light or maybe even naked and as objective hunters. That's kind of my guess. Although at first glance it looks like it's totally ranged attack all the way. I want these guys and I want these guys, and I don't really want this guy or this guy, but maybe this guy and this guy are going to be a thing someday. We'll have to wait and see. But as it stands right now, pretty good attack. They get to activate twice, which is insane. Potentially 3 times. What if you run them with Palpatine? I don't really see doing that, especially if you want to run more than one. It's just probably not happening. They're bonkers. They're bonkers. All right. Woo. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I will talk to you later. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like the video, share the video, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow. May the Force be with you.